or comments from the audience. It's wide open. It can be anything the show made you think of. And your input at the end of the show is what influences future iterations of the performance. It really does evolve over time. It's changed a lot. I'm even going to freestyle about your questions at the end, like a live improvised mutation. But please do try to ask me real incisive questions, rather than just giving me shit that's difficult to rhyme with. Some people do that. There's this temptation. Yes, question 1 right there.
It's not a question, it's a comment.
Comments good.
I think you should, if possible, film this so that high school students can see it, because I think you're a great teacher.
Oh. Performing the Bible belt, yes. You've hit 2 elements of my agenda right on the head with your comment. We have filmed it, although we haven't sort of edited it into something we're going to put out just yet. We're sort of waiting to see who takes an interest. But next year there's going to be a tour of the States, college campuses and performing arts centers. And just yesterday I got the invitation to Salt Lake City. Yes, it's definitely part of the plan. For now, for anyone here who's involved in science education, we're developing a website. It's rapguidetoevolution.co.uk. It's UK-based, and basically what it is music videos based on the show. And the music video is like a mashup between an Eminem video and a David Attenborough nature documentary. And the lyrics are printed below the video, and the lyrics are filled with hyperlinks that take you to definitions and peer-reviewed science sources and teaching websites. And if you can get through all the lyrics and understand every word that's being used, you're getting pretty close to basically having an undergraduate biology degree. So check that out, rapguidetoevolution.co.uk. All right, question 2. A more difficult one, perhaps. Yeah, right there.
So recently there was an article that showed that actually men who are married and taking care of children, whose testosterone goes down. Did they ever separate married and unmarried men in that murder rate?
That's a very good question. They do have that data, and I didn't present it, but they found pretty much the same thing in that. And it's not just marriage, it's actually specifically childcare. I call it marriage because it's a better punchline to say that's the sort of like neutering of the young aggressive male. But in fact, it turns out that men who are caring for children, whether they're married or not, it's the interacting with the children that makes the testosterone go down. Check it out, it was front page of the New York Times a couple days ago. You know, child care makes men's testosterone drop, although if their kids then get to a certain sort of self-sustaining age and they're back on the market, you find that their testosterone goes up again, which clearly suggests that testosterone is specifically a mating effort hormone, and that there's different hormones like oxytocin for parenting effort activities. And biologists and psychologists try to separate the mating effort from the parenting effort because often they're antithetical. So yeah, I suggest everybody go check that out for sure. Question 3? Or comment? Yes, right there.
What did that violence graph look like, let's say 50 years ago? Was there anything to compare it with? The violence graph?
The one thing I can say, the question is, what did the violence graph look like 50 years ago? I don't know that they have that specific data for Chicago, or actually no, they do have it, but they were specifically looking at annual murder rates in the 80s when they wrote the book. But the thing that was really persuasive for me, relevant to that question, is that people sometimes wonder, okay, well maybe there's something else. Maybe there's a correlation but not a causation going on. If you're talking about life expectancy and income inequality being the cause of homicide or aggression, maybe those are just all correlated together with something. But the interesting thing is the trend works historically as well as geographically. So if you move from a more equal and higher life expectancy culture to a less equal and lower life expectancy culture across a border, for instance, you'll find the homicide rate will be correlated to those factors. But if one culture over 50 years increases their life expectancy and decreases their income inequality, you'll find that their homicide rate goes down concurrently with that, and vice versa leads to the opposite effect as well. So now epidemiologists and social scientists are saying, you know, pretty much a conclusive empirical finding of the social sciences and psychology is that, yes, income inequality and life expectancy are the 2 key factors when it comes to violence and homicide, if, you know, at the level of societies, neighborhoods, cities. In individual families, there might be other mitigating factors, but it shows up as a demographic correlation very, very persuasively. So, Thanks for your questions. That was 3. I'm going to have to cap it at 3. If you guys have more questions, we're going to be right outside afterwards slinging CDs and stuff. So come and say hi to us, and we'll come have a drink with us in the bar downstairs as well. So, before you guys leave, I just want to try to explain how an evolutionary rap song gets written in the first place, alright? Early drafts are very simplistic. They go like this. Yo, yo, the origin of species. Ain't no feces, dog, believe me. And that's all I can think of. So then I'm like, oh shit, this really needs to be rewritten. And sometimes people ask me, well, how does your show get written? It gets written like this, like this. Performance, feedback, revision. And how do I generally develop my lyricism? Like this. Performance, feedback, revision. And how do human beings ever learn to do anything? Same way. Performance, feedback, revision. And evolution is really just kind of an algorithm that goes like this. Performance, feedback, revision. So the genetic code of every living creature was also written like this. Performance, feedback, revision. See, the genes are like a text with 100,000 pages. And the revisions occur in the little random changes that come from mutations. And then when they see the light, well, that's the performance. They call that the phenotype. And natural selection, well, that's the feedback side. That's about who survives and whose genes catch rise in the next generation. Yes, what I'm saying is that a rap performance like this is the best illustration for the way that descent with modification works. Because the performance is necessary to change the words, to decide which have an impact and which to send back to the drawing board. In fact, I just did that when you guys failed to react. And any line can change, because the mutations occur when I improvise on stage. Because up until this moment, everything I said was off the page. But now it's time for me to switch it up. I'll do a freestyle section. I'll try to keep it really specific to beat your cheater detection. Alright, that's right. It's freestyle, it's interactive. Hope you guys have been enjoying my show about demographics. Yes, indeed, this is the way that I rock this hip-hop. I'm looking for a future in which testosterone drops, you know? I just want a lot more less violent guys. And more bald guys, because that's what makes hair follicles die, right? Or maybe less bald guys. Maybe my logic is a little bit mixed up. That's alright though. It's alright though, because I want to perform this show in places that are less Lexuses and more hick trucks, you know? Like the Dirty South. I'm hoping that this gets to be a really popular show through word of mouth, yeah? This is the way that I do it. They call it ciphering. Thanks for coming to my show instead of the frickin' Lion King, right? That's right. These are improvised rhymes. Thank you guys for coming and being part of my tribe, right? I'm taking it back like Mario Brothers, Sci-Fi. When I was quite young, a high testosterone guy. But maybe I'm lying with my flow. Because in most Canadians, testosterone levels are low. Right? Because we're just sweethearts. Some of us are retards. That's what you're gonna do though, right? I'm just trying to be smart. Maybe just make a little quick rhyme that I've never thought of before. An improvised flow. Yeah. Thanks for coming along with my hypnotized show. It's alright though, even if I make a mistake over the rhythm, that's how I introduce randomness into the system, right? That's the way that I flip it up, the way that I problem solve. All my stupid rhymes are the way that this show evolves. Yeah, it's the way that I rock it when I'm ciphering. The whole front row's rocking jewelry. Nice bling. It's kind of distracting me, grabbing me by the corners of my eyes. Yeah, this is the way that I flip it with these freestyle rhymes. When I'm trying to be sparking it off. Yes, I promise I will take the show to Arkansas. This is my concept right here. This is my little system. It goes like this. Performance, feedback, revision. If you guys want to know about evolution, this here is the definition. So say it with me. Performance, feedback, revision. Memorize it. Performance, feedback, revision. To me, performance, feedback, revision. Say it one more time. Performance, feedback, revision.